Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. That's right, I said it. Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. We are 2 days away from the big mega fight between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And me, myself, I have not really been in the boxing loop recently. In the past, I've been talking about all the fights. I'll be doing prediction videos. And I've kind of been out of the loop for boxing. There hasn't been a lot of big boxing recently, but I decided, for this big one, this is a mega one, I got to do a prediction because I've seen every single fight in the career of Canelo, every single fight in the career of Bud Crawford. These are two of the biggest names. Well, every single fight that's televised of Bud Crawford. And I have to do my prediction because a lot of people see it as a 50-50 fight, and I think that is 100% accurate. But I am going with Bud Crawford to win the fight, and I'm going to explain to you why. So I'm known for being a Canelo hater because, when I was 17 years old, he beat Gennady Golovkin in the rematch in a close fight. I thought he lost, and I was a Golovkin fanboy. It meant the world to me, and ever since then, I've been praying on Canelo's downfall. And Canelo's been on a run recently at 168 pounds where he's just kind of been doing his thing, not been fighting the best competition, definitely not. I mean, Edgar Berlanga, Jermell Charlo going up 2 weight classes, Skull looked terrible in that fight, but he's been doing his thing mostly. He's been not been looking destructive, and last time he got a knockout was 2021, but Canelo's been doing his thing. And Terrence Crawford, he's only been fighting like 1 time a year in the past 6 years, but he's also a big name star, and 2 years ago when he fought Errol Spence Jr. and absolutely destroyed him, that put him on the radar for Canelo because beating Errol Spence was a big name in boxing, and that was one of the biggest fights in boxing, and it was considered a 50-50, and Bud Crawford destroyed Errol Spence in probably one of the best boxing performances of all time. He absolutely decimated him. And, Spence versus Canelo is going to happen, but after Bud decimated Spence, and Spence hasn't fought since then, it's now going to be Canelo versus Bud Crawford. And, the fight's been marinating for a while. It's been a few months, been announced for a few months, and we're 2 days away. And I just need to let y'all know that it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And, I'm known for being the prediction king on here. I picked Ryan to beat Devin. I picked Usyk to win all of his fights, even when he's an underdog. Look at my history. I have a good track record. I picked Bill to beat Canelo. And, I'm going to say that Bud Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And all it comes down to is age and wear and tear. Canelo Alvarez is, right now, I think he's probably 35. I think he's probably 35 years old. He was born 1990, I believe, like July 1990, around that area. So he's around 35 years old. And Terrence Crawford was born in 87, I believe, so he's 3 years older than Canelo. Either 87 or 88, something like that. But he's older than Canelo. But y'all got to understand, it's not about the age. It's about boxing age. Canelo Alvarez, in terms of boxing, is literally 500 years old. Canelo Alvarez started boxing as a pro when he was only 15 years old. So think about it. That's 20 years he's been boxing, going to weigh-ins, going to press conferences, having media. He literally fought Floyd Mayweather at 23 years old. I'm 23 myself, and I still feel like a teenager. But this isn't about me. I'm just saying, mentally, I feel really young. And look what he was doing at such a young age. And then look, here we are 12 years later. He's still fighting at the top level. He is just been through so much. The wars with Golovkin, the beatdown by Bivol. I don't think the Mayweather fight it just taught him a lesson really more than anything. But when you look at his recent fights, you see that Canelo really is wearing down. Canelo Alvarez is wearing down. And that's why he hasn't gotten a stoppage since Caleb Plant 2021, which is a great win, by the way. But Terrence Crawford, not only do I think the style matchup is just bad for Canelo because Canelo loves to throw big punches at your arms. I think he's going to get countered by Crawford. And honestly, I think it's going to be a boring fight. I think there's going to be a lot of caution on both sides, and I think it's going to be slow, and I think it's going to be boring straight up. But those big right hands to the body Canelo loves to throw, I think Crawford's going to block them and come back with a counter. That's something Jermall Charlo wouldn't do because Jermall was just scared. A lot of people are looking at the Jermall Charlo fight because that's a guy that was at 154. And how he went up to fight Canelo at 168. And by the way, Charlo's probably bigger than Bud. I mean, he was fighting at 154. Bud was fighting at 147. And then he had one fight at 154. And now he's going up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. I just think Bud's a different type of animal, man. And I think Bud Crawford doesn't really care about the stakes. I just think he just wants to win, go out there and put on the best performance of his career. If he didn't do that against Spence, here's his chance to do it now. I don't think anything's going to top that Spence performance. He absolutely demolished Spence. But it's going to be interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo wins just because the weight might be too much. But Bud is special. Bud is a special fighter, and he didn't look that great against Madrimov, but Madrimov's a tricky guy, and styles make fights, like I always say. That was a bad style matchup for Bud. But if you want to say Bud looked bad, look at Canelo's last 5. He's looked terrible in his last 5. That's the reason why I'm picking Bud Crawford to win, because Canelo Alvarez is very old in terms of boxing years. He's been fighting at the highest level for such a long time at this point. I think it's going to be probably 8-4, 9-3 for Bud in terms of the fight, and I think on the cards we're going to get a majority decision. So I think Bud Crawford is going to win a majority decision over Canelo Alvarez, or it could be a draw. They could rob him and give him a draw. But I think Bud Crawford is going to win this fight. I do think I'm going to win this fight. And if Bud Crawford doesn't win, you can come at me, you can come yell at me, say, oh, you were wrong this entire time. I don't know, man. It's not even a gut feeling. I feel like I've seen both these guys fight so many times, so this is honestly just my mind, like, going with what I don't even know what this is. I mean, this is just me seeing what I see and just telling you guys how I feel. So I don't know what else to say. I think Bud Crawford's going to win a majority decision in a clear but competitive fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo maybe scored a knockdown, lands a really good punch. I mean, he scored a knockdown in like every one of his last fights, in almost every single one of his last fights that have gone to decision. But it's going to be fun. We're 2 days away. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm just excited for this fight. And if Canelo wins, I will be proven wrong. But I just see Bud Crawford coming in and doing his thing. Canelo, look, if this was Canelo from 2019 or 2018, I might even pick him to stop Bud. I definitely pick him to win. I might even pick him to stop him. But Canelo has so much wear and tear in him at this point. So that's why I'm picking Bud Crawford to beat Canelo. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys for watching. Much love. Enjoy the fight, and peace.